Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 1 of Relinquishing Control. My name is Isabella. This feels surreal. I am currently nestled in my closet because I was told that it's better to record a podcast in more of an enclosed space. So it's actually pretty cozy in here. I'm kind of vibing with it. All right, so let's go ahead and chat a bit more about what this podcast entails, kind of why I'm doing this, so you can get a feel for if this is something you're interested in listening, and if you feel like you can tolerate my voice, that's also very important. So the goal of this podcast, as you know, it's called Relinquishing Control. It's kind of, my overall focus is wanting to come up with ways to embrace uncertainty and embrace the beauty of just not knowing what's going to happen in life through learning to ground ourselves in the present and finding inner peace. And so a bit of a disclaimer I have before I kind of get into what I wanted to talk about today is that I am by no means a licensed professional. I'm simply a girl with opinions who likes to talk a lot. So keep that in mind as you listen. I do refer to higher power, and in some sense, I am a religious and spiritual individual. So anything that does not align with you, that you feel does not resonate, please just simply take everything I say with a grain of salt. So, with that, let's get into today's episode. What I really wanted to talk about today is that it is so important to just trust and know that you are going to be okay no matter what happens in your life. And this is so much easier said than done, especially if you are a more anxious individual. It takes so much time and effort and dedication, but it is so important to be rooted in yourself. Obviously not to the point where you are hyper independent, but simply to the point where you have that inner peace within yourself and feel content and whole on your own. So I'm going to start off with a quote that I've come across. I actually came across this quote back in middle school on Visco, and ever since then it's been one of my favorite quotes. So let's go ahead and read it. Realize you can be happy this very moment for no reason. Otherwise, you eternally depend on conditions for happiness, and you remain a victim of circumstances. And this was written by Arthur D. Saftless. What a fun last name, Arthur. I think that this is the key for tolerating uncertainty. And it can be very difficult when you are someone who carries a lot of empathy and who cares very deeply about things, or if you're a very intentional person. It is at times very difficult to live this way because when you come across something that's meaningful to you, you want that circumstance to remain in your life forever. And that is so understandable. But the reality is that's just not how life works. Sometimes it does, but not always. And I feel very strongly about this. I do not think the issue is caring too much. I think that it is such a beautiful thing to care deeply and to feel deeply, and I truly do not think that that is the issue when it comes to pain and hurt. I think the true deep-rooted issue that needs to be addressed is trusting and knowing that regardless of the external conditions in your life, just like the quote said, that you are going to be okay and you are going to keep moving and your life is going to continue. Life goes on. You are going to have more happy moments. Your happiness, your contentment, and your peace can all come from within. You are capable of awakening those things within yourself. It's so important to be able to be there for yourself and simply doing things that bring you comfort, that don't involve spending money, don't involve involving other people. That could be listening to music, exercising, spending time in nature, one of my favorites. Truly any activity that you can do alone where you genuinely just feel peace and contentment and safety. I personally feel like it's so important to always have something like that to turn to Because regardless of where you are and regardless of who's a part of your life, you want to be able to have that deep-rooted sense of security within yourself. One of the hardest truths of life, in my opinion, is that our lives are constantly changing. We are constantly growing and evolving, and change is something that we resist so much because we don't think we're going to be okay. We don't trust that we're going to be totally fine if this circumstance in our life changes. We don't trust that we're going to make it out the other side, no matter what we go through and no matter what happens. So it really comes down to trust and shifting our mindset. If we are able to shift our mindset and trust that we are strong enough, it will bring so much contentment, and it will allow your life to unfold how it is meant to unfold, rather than focusing on specific circumstances and specific individuals in your life. You are so much stronger than your mind wants to make you think you are. And you can handle any emotion, any feeling, and any experience. I know you can. I know you can. Ultimately, though, we only have limited control over external circumstances, and so it is very important to only attempt to control the things that we can truly control, because, as mentioned earlier, nearly everything we desire we can give to ourselves. As difficult it is to acknowledge and truly feel that, it's true. No matter what happens in your life, know that you deserve to be happy and you deserve to be at peace right now in this present moment. And as soon as you can surrender control and trust that you're going to be okay, that's really all it takes. If I can do it, you can do it too. We're in this together, you guys. And peace and contentment is a huge value of mine, so it's very important to me to just be able to bring myself that inner peace. And it is a beautiful thing when you can find another person or a situation that adds that positive, uplifting energy to your life, but you can't become so attached to a specific outcome because there's no way to ever truly know if that is going to be your permanent reality. So this was a little bit shorter than I anticipated it to be, but it is just kind of an intro episode, just kind of summarizing what the focus and the goal of this podcast will be. And so with that, I want to thank you for listening, if you made it this far. And yeah, I appreciate you for listening. And I guess, yeah, that's it. Goodbye. Have a great rest of your day. Mwah.